Thank you.
Very much forward to listening.
So first of all, thanks a lot, Regine. It sounded like she had really to do everything, force me to come here. That's not true. So it was really great, and it's the first time I'm in Norway, so it is really a very, very, very big pleasure to be here and to be able to speak with you. I hope I don't need it really. So if it's fine for you, because I was talking to him, and it's fine, because I have a little bit to move. So that's my advantage. I have now a little bit the task to show you what we are doing at Specie Rara, to show it as an example for an organization that has a certain age and is quite well known in the community. Here, I have to send the greetings of my entire team to you. So you were absolutely right. That's my backbone. So I'm standing here, but I'm pushed and supported by them. It's the team of Specie Rara. Here's a short view on our venue and our seed library. As you see here, we have a beautiful place. It's a botanical. We are integrated in a botanical garden. It's a private botanical garden. And everybody is very, very welcome to visit us and stay with us for some days. So, hi. Okay, I come in. So the portfolio of Specie. What is Specie? What we are dealing with? So firstly, we are covering not only we are working on three fields. One is the field crop vegetable, that's what we heard before. Then we didn't hear a lot until now about fruit berries, but that is one of our main collections, I have to say. And what is very special for our organization is that we are also covering rare breeds. So we have under our roof everything that is grown, that is living on a farm. So we have different collections, but connected to this collection we have also show gardens. Let's say we have them spread out all over Switzerland, and everything that we have in our database and in our collection is grown every day somewhere in Switzerland. So that is, we have 221 orchards spread out all over Switzerland. We have 15 big vegetable gardens. Every one of them has about 300 different varieties on its place, and we have 32 different rare breeds maintained by 30 different associations. So that is the network, we can say. Our headquarters, we have been founded in 1982, so we are one of the first, I would say, after Henry Doubleday Research Association. So the Henry Doubleday Association was inspiring us a lot when we have been creating our seed library. So it was very important for us to see how they did it. And we have put in place, so if we call ourselves a national organization, so in Switzerland you have to be in 3 parts of Switzerland, otherwise we will completely be ignored by the others. So we have one nice office also in Geneva, so that's the French part, and we have there also we are placed in a botanical garden of Geneva. We have a beautiful place also in the Italian part, near Mendrisio. It's really on the very edge of Switzerland, on the border to Italy. And the main quarter is in Basel. So there, the pictures you have seen is of the main quarter in Basel, so in the very north of Switzerland. We are supported by donors. We have a network of 10,000, between 10,000 and 11,000 donors. They really fund us with money. So have a fee you pay, about 70 Swiss francs a year. So this is this. And we have a quite a huge network of active people. Seed savers, breeders, they take care for the breeds. Here this number, when you only look at the plants, so then we can say that we have about 700 seed savers, and the rest of it are farmers, they keep the breeds. So that is the relation. Okay. That's the only picture I have about animals, but I couldn't put them away completely. So look at it fast. It's a beautiful picture because it's very emotional, and we have to say, Specie Rara started with breeds. So that was the second step in 1985 when we integrated all the plant projects. So sorry, but we have to go on. Otherwise, Regine will stop me. So that's the funding structure. The money is coming from different sources. So you have seen most of them are donors. There are private donors, foundations as well supporting us. Then you have the Ministry of Agriculture, it's about 70%. We have EU project, a very little one, but at least these 2% are coming from the EU project. And we have private sponsors. That's perhaps a little bit speciality from Specie Rara, that we have really sponsors that are sponsoring and asking for to take our image for their work. So that is we will talk about later. And we have also a little own income. So we are really a non-profit organization, but we have certain activities where money gets in directly. So that is the picture here. I think everybody working in networks could show. So that is the activists. We have different courses we gave. It's really the know-how transfer, as Regine was indicating in the survey. So that's exactly what we are also doing, like every other community bank. So that is a picture. It's only an impression I want to give. This is field work. We work with farmers. We evaluate varieties. I will come up with that later. And that's perhaps a very big speciality for our organization. Everybody does it, but we are really pioneers of establishing platforms where our farmers, our growers could really present their products to the bigger public. And we were coordinating, establishing these platforms, markets, where they could join and sell. So that was not done by Specie Rara, but by our farmers. So that was installed by them. So that looked like that. We have to say are really big markets. We have one that we have about 13,000 people coming throughout the weekend in the springtime for buying seeds and seedlings. So that is for sure the biggest. And we have also markets for products. That is this one, and there are several thousand people attending. So it's really a big demand in the public, and we can profit from that very much. So I come back, sure that you know what we are dealing with really in our collection. So we have, I think we have heard it several times. We have local varieties, of course, that came to our collections in 1982. We started to make really evaluations. We went to journals, we screened out, we are establishing, we would like to establish a network like one now does. Yes, so I think. And we were quite successful. So we could find a lot of autochthonous varieties not coming from the gene bank. So it was really a parallel research done from our pioneers people. And quite a lot have been also obsolete varieties. So they have been on the market, but were not anymore. And we collected them and put them in our seed library. So that is about what we have in our PSR gene bank, yeah, you could call it, and it's quite disconnected with that what we have in gene banks of the seed companies. So it's two different worlds, and but the link is sometimes here. So there could be a link, but there's really not very much exchange. Okay, what comes in our gene bank is long criteria. We established a whole set of criteria where we say, okay, these and these and these criteria are based on these criteria, we will accept a variety in our gene bank, or we will not. So we had to do it because we had also to differentiate our collection from a French collection or from an Italian collection. We didn't want to do double work with others, so we had to establish that. So what we are doing at the moment with the network is this is 650 seed savers. We have our seed library. We have a catalog. The catalog is online. You can look at it. People can order seeds, and they can order seeds directly from our seed library, or they can order seeds from people like them. So they're the private offerers of seeds. So we have a multiplication possibility. We can reach out of much more people than we would have to do it alone. So it's about 4,000 accessions that every year are changing hands. So, and that is due to this collaboration with these people who are very, very involved and committed to our work. So, and to maintain this network, that's a huge work, and that's one of our, let's say, bases we should never lose. Okay. So, that is the collections, how they look like. That's such a garden, so we want to go out with our collection, we want to be at the people. Very many of the people come here and say, "Oh, where can I get these seeds from? It's beautiful. I want them." So that is, of course, really a promotion activity as well. And so it's like it's looking for the fruits. Fruits we have also it's also connected to the culture. So we have this standard tree, but very dispersed in the landscape. So it's landscape plus old varieties. So it's a very special kind, and we have also collections like this. So one tree besides the other. And that's the network that looked like about 15 years ago. So we had already quite a nice network. And every spot here is a collection or is a breeder, a farm. So that's all public collection. People can go, see, visit, and learn what the people or the institution on the spot is doing. And we are promoting this. And the maintenance is not done by us, the maintaining is in the different localities. But we are only providing the seeds or the plant material. That's our job. Okay, so when we started our work, so we had to decide, do we want to be a private network dislinked from any formal sector and work independently? But being more and more recognized by the public, we decided not to stay there. We linked ourselves very much to the gene bank. It's the other way around what you have heard before, that the gene bank more or less was the initiator to establish a community seed bank, a little bit. In our case, it was not the other way around, but the community bank was already established, and we decided as a community bank to link better to the gene bank. It was so when you link, of course, yourself to the formal sector, let's say, then you have also to fill some obligations. So if you come in, if you will go in international obligations like the exchange treaty thing, you have to. We are in another context, working in another context. But you are approaching really, let's say, more the broader public. You are more integrated in the society as a whole. But it's a decision to do. And okay, in Switzerland, we were very much helped. I come to this. Our methodology was complementary to the method of a gene bank. Everybody knows gene bank is multiplying and then taking the seeds in the fridger, and there it keeps for a long time, and it will sow out 50 years after. So what we are doing is we are doing on-farm conservation. That's what you are doing as well. But on-farm conservation is connected to a lot of different activities that is connected to that. So it's, for example, promoting, to promote availability of seeds. That's what you have heard in different activities. So it was quite a nice thing that the gene bank in Switzerland was absolutely aware of this complementarity, and there was an initiative of the gene bank to join community banks around in Switzerland, actions, different stakeholders, and establish an own platform. And that was a very important move that the gene bank did. And we were establishing in Switzerland a platform called the Swiss Commission of the Conservation of Cultivated Plants. And this was already done in 1992. So when the treaty came, and in the treaty in 1996, there had been established a global plan of action in Leipzig, where it was described how every country has to keep its diversity, how it has to manage, and all the obligations they have to fulfill to manage and to conserve the plant genetic resources. Switzerland adopted this global plan of action and integrated it in its own national plan of action. And to fulfill now these obligations, the ministry was choosing this platform that we had created 6 years before. And that was a big advantage for us, because we were already sitting in this platform, and we had coordinated all the genetic resources in Switzerland together with others. So here's one, it's for Specie, but there were others as well. And connected to this national plan of action in Switzerland, also attributed to these action resources, it's every year 3.2 million, to make this water wheel work. And in parallel, there was also a strategy, a long-term strategy established in collaboration now with this network. And it was really special, because the state ministry gave the responsibility to this network to manage the plant genetic resources. It didn't keep the responsibility within the, of course they have the responsibility at the end, but the work had to be done by this network. So from one moment to the other, we had quite a responsibility as an organization as well. We were integrated part of the conservation work, of the national conservation work. Next step that was very important was the money didn't go to the institutions. If you would have to call for a project, only the network partners, the NGOs, could apply for money, not the institutions. And that was also a big strengthening of our work, of our organization. So this was, and of course we did not do the work alone. We had partners from research, from the gene bank. We were collaborating, but the money was going through our organizations. So that is a very special point. So when that was established, we were integrated in this national context. We could do the next step, and that's to join our activities to the marketing. So that was the next step. So we had quite a stable basis. We had donors, we had the ministry foundation, and now we could go further and looking how can we bring our diversity more to the bigger public again. So what we have established was, we tried to establish a possibility to trace our work, what we did in the fields, the different spots, collections, connect this work with the product. So that somebody, Mr. Miller and Mr. whatever, could go and buy a product and see very fast what is behind the product. And we were establishing this label. It started to be a brand that we connected to the product, and then it changed more and more to be a label. Today it's a certified label. What does this label say? It tells people only that behind the product you have, as a messenger of our work, there is also a lot of big diversity behind. So we have perhaps one potato in the shelf, but we have 150 potatoes in our collection. So, and you can see it there and there and there if you want. So we have to tell the story that when you buy a product, then you support as well this work in the collections, what Specie Rara is doing with the help of many others. So at the moment we have 650 owners of the seal, but only hundreds of them do really marketing. The other ones do only conservation, but they have also the seal. So you can have, and go on the farm, you can find the seal, and then you know this guy here is doing conservation work. That is our methodology. When we went with our diversity, we decided to go to the market. Of course, we had also decided to improve our quality of the product, of the seeds, of the plant material we will give to hand over. So when we started, we had our collection of 1,600 varieties. We started with vegetables. We were not doing it with cereals. So our work we did only on vegetables. Then we had to create as well a decision evaluation grid. What have these varieties that you want to bring to the market to fulfill? What advantages for the consumer they have to have? It's another grid than that what you have seen before. If we take them in as a conservation variety, it differs. This grid is for an evaluation grid for going to the market. So if this selection, we did a selection along this criteria, then we end up with 227 varieties out of this 1,600 varieties of vegetables, where we could say, they could be of interest for a bigger market. So it's a small percentage. We are evaluating this 227, we go to the field, but on test fields, we end up with 97 varieties. Works. You can go now to the farmer, next step. Out of the test field to the farmer, going one by one, to look if it works really on a bigger surface as well. We are with vegetables, not with cereal. Then farmers are evaluating in collaboration with us. And in the end, it very much depends what will the target market afterwards. We have the target market, can be really the supermarket, Coop, biggest supermarket chain in Switzerland. Then we can say, okay, we have these 63 varieties from the 1,600 that will fit. But for us, the interesting thing is this one. By evaluating these varieties, we could also see, there are quite a lot of other chains, direct marketing, seedling selling, where this could fit. In the end, you end up with 263 varieties you can bring back to the market. Okay? To chain or to trace what we are doing with the farmers. We have contract with a supermarket, for example, or can be a wholesaler. We have contracts with the farmers. We force the farmers by these contracts to sell their seeds at the seed companies. Seed companies that, in collaboration with Specie Rara, produce the varieties. And our seal is saying what you get as a variety, it's really that variety. It's not something else. The seed producer will only start to produce seeds when he knows that he can sell it on the market. And if the farmer is forced to say, okay, that's your source here, you have to go to this source, and with this source you can afterwards produce, then we help them really to make a certain quantity and a certain quality of seed. If we wouldn't have this connection, and the farmer can go somewhere in the market to see if he can find something, we're losing control, one, and the seed producer, we will not find one seed company that is willing to produce a certain amount in a certain quality. So this system is a support not only for the seed company, but also, for example, for the associations, because they need breeders that do breeding work in their association, that they can keep their rare breed. So that is a supporting system of those two here. Connected to the marketing, it's not connected to our big conservation network, but when it comes up to marketing, then we try to do it that way. That's how it looks now on the market. So it's we have some organic stores, but we have also the supermarket chain. And that's how it looks like. We have here the seeds, and everywhere you see the label, we have it here on the product, and we have it here also in the advertising of our varieties. So the funny thing now was we had established all what you have seen here, going to the market with all varieties, selling them to the big public, having a nice system. Then all of a sudden, there came the law. A law, it was a question from France to our ministry. Oh, we have seen that you are selling potatoes in your supermarkets. All varieties. In France, that is not allowed. You are not allowed to sell old varieties, not registered varieties, to the people. Then our ministry was looking in the seed law and saw it's not allowed. Even in Switzerland, it's not allowed. So they wanted to stop us to sell not registered seeds, or not products from coming out from not registered varieties. That was in 2007. So there was nothing about conservation varieties, amateur varieties. There was only conventional varieties, commercial varieties, and I don't know what. So we were getting in trouble. So because we were now in this negotiation, we were included in this negotiation going on the European level, but we were already on the market. So that was a big advantage for us, because to tell people, if you accept now this law, tomorrow we'll not get these varieties anymore. So on all our market, we started to make a big campaign saying that's the last time that we will be able to get all our varieties. So it was quite successful, because people were absolutely upset, and the ministry got phone calls directly from very, very upset people. And then they say, okay, we have to negotiate. Something is going there. So we had really direct negotiation, and I have to say, at the end, I think we found a very, very nice solution. We introduced this point of the niche varieties. In Switzerland, we have the niche varieties. Everything that is marketed above a certain amount of seeds quantity, you can register as a niche variety. Everything that is marketed below a certain amount, it's out of scope. We have not to register them, we have not even to tell anybody that we are selling them. For example, all what you have seen in seeds, these seed packages, is out of the scope. That what you have seen in the shelf, that is in the scope. So it leaves us a lot of freedom to operate. We can even go on the market in little quantities to sell without being included in the whole seed legislation. We can do our work within this niche variety context, or we can go on to do our work with besides. It is not linked to the phytosanitary controls and something like that. When we go with seeds in the market, we sell seed like you have seen, then there are phytosanitary controls at the seed company. So that is not, that's beside. So, next step, last. You tell me. Oh. I'm very rare, I hear this. So we had these two, you have seen, we had these two extremes. We have the traditional obsolete varieties, our collection, and you have seen 1,600 varieties, ends up with 63 that is possible to go to the big market. So there is something in between. And our old varieties very often are not attending the needs of the market. So we have to react on that. Perhaps we can, we don't. But it's a decision. So we established a survey. What are our stakeholders? I told you it's not only the supermarket, it can be the gardeners, can be private farmers, they sell on the market. So we had to see, could we do something to improve our varieties? That those people are satisfied, they will not be satisfied, I don't care, because I will do a specialized selection work for these kind of market clients, we have in mind. So, for example, the organic breeding, it's very much aiming at going to the big market, because they have a big market, they need to fulfill the needs of the big market, fine with it, they do their selection work. We said, we will not go in this direction, homogeneity, not so important for us, very long shelf life, not so important for us, but good taste, very important for us. So we have other practice where we will go, but we will do our selection work and improve variety for those clients. And that gives us also the possibility to have many more species in our selection than perhaps the organic breeding, who has not this broad possibility. Okay, when you are doing that, you need money. And what you are doing, you are fulfilling one obligation the ministry is giving itself, it's the sustainable use. So we say, if we are going for sustainable use, then this work has also to be covered. Okay, very good sign. And okay, well, I've gone far. So that and the ministry was following this idea. That was very interesting. So we have a directive in our seed law, in our law of agriculture, that the Ministry of Agriculture is allowed to support this, to support selection and breeding work for a niche market. So that is really special. But it was really an iterative process, because there is a need, there is a demand, and we got this legal environment to do that in Switzerland. That is very, very nice. And that is now the selection work we are doing. So things, the supermarket would be, but perhaps a private garden would go, fine, something special, a chef, oh, interesting. And we can produce seeds and the quality afterwards, that the farmer is having that security and has really a product that he could sell with a good conscious. So we have better varieties. We do that not only for Specie Rara, we do that in collaboration with the research institutes for organic farming and with seed companies. So that is always because they know the market, they know also the qualities. what we have to achieve. So that is, they are closer to that than we are. Okay, I'm coming now to an appeal for everybody who is now saying, oh, I would like to go in a network and collaborate with a network. That would be, we have established for Europe, we are trying to establish a European network. Specie is very much supportive in that kind, and we have a long, very nice collaboration with other organizations, like you have seen in the Diversity Food project. So this network is already collaborating since a long time, and it's called Let's Liberate Diversity. So it was a very, let's say, political network, but it has completely changed. It had to change to a very practical network, that we really support us, and we bring us in European projects. When we hear about the bigger organizations are supporting the little ones, it's know-how transfer done on a European level. We are, at the moment, it's 12 people, 12 organizations, 12 organizations, bigger ones, and we are, of course, waiting for others to join us. And for us, I think we have a lot. You have seen all the projects, Farmers Pride, Horizon projects. So there is a need as well from the European Commission to have partners like that. They are internationally connected to really unify forces. So that is, let's say, a little advertisement from my side to join that for us. Okay, success factors from my point of view, for our organization, it was very, of course, we have a very strong basis of enthusiasts, but also professionals. So we have the seed companies, professional farmers, but we have the seed, 670, a network of 670 people. We have this creation of this national platform that was very important, because there we could join, we could interact. We are, even now when there is the phytosanitary legislation is coming now, we are discussing it in this platform. We are negotiating with this ministry because we are not happy with it at the moment. So we can use this platform together. It was very, and of course, very important, the legal environment that supported or reacted on our activities. So they had changed law so that we could do our work like we can do it until now. The governmental implementation of the National Plan of Action was very, in my opinion, quite well done in Switzerland. I have not really very good examples in other countries. There are a lot of strategies, but the involvement of NGOs is very, 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 very weak, very often. So it stops in the strategy. The implementation action plan is not happening, in my opinion, but we can negotiate. So and it's of course undermined with resources. That is very important. We could profit from that. Then the funding strategy within our organization is now we could set up it on different pillars. So if someone is cracking down, so we can say, okay, we have still the other ones. And we don't have to live from one year to the other. So internally we can also grow and have a long-term strategy, how we react. And the label, I think it was a very nice promotion action. So people could combine our work, combine products and what they see with our work we are doing behind. That was really for us. It's not a market. It's not so much a marketing tool. We are not earning money with it. It costs us more than we get, really. But it is a very nice tool to be sent. That we are recognized in on a broader scale of people. Okay. I think that's it.
Yeah.
Thank you.